The rhythm of life. The rhythm of life is playing all around us. You just have to be willing to learn how to listen, to learn how to tune, listen to the beat, the rhythm of life that is playing in everything, the rhythm inside our hearts, and we just have to learn to listen, to be quiet, to pay attention, to find the rhythm in everyday life and every single moment. Listen to the rhythm as it plays in the streets, listening to the rhythm when you feel alone, when you start losing sleep, when you start to feel lost, getting stuck in the grind. Stop, look, listen, be still. The rhythm is all around you. You just have to know when to listen. Good morning and welcome. Welcome to River Road Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Welcome to this place of community, spirit, and service. Welcome to our two-part Sunday series, Rhythm of the Soul, in which we gather the Spirit and explore spiritual practices and what it means to be an embodied worship. This is a place where we come bringing our full selves, our imperfect selves, ourselves that are on rhythm and ourselves that don't know rhythm at all, because we know that the rhythm is right in here, and the rhythm is made by each one of us. Here in a few minutes, I'll invite you to greet your neighbor, and if anyone wants to come to this side of the room so we can fill in the circle, that would be great. Now I invite you to turn to your neighbor, say welcome and good morning. Welcome and good morning. As we find our way back to our seats, we know that this will be a space where we are welcoming each other throughout this morning. This morning, I'd like to thank our special guest musicians, Katy Gaughan and Reese Aguilar, I believe I'm saying that correctly, from Drumming for Wellness, who will be leading us through our drumming this morning. Welcome to our space. So this is a drum circle this morning. This isn't a service pretending to be a drum circle. The drum circle is our service. It is our space of worship in this time. So that we can get all of the business out of the way, I'm going to talk for a few minutes, and then we're going to turn the service over. Of course, there's only a couple of announcements that I want to bring up this morning. And please, if you get the e-weekly, check it. As we're getting closer to September 11th, which is our in-gathering service, there's going to be more and more opportunities to get involved as this congregational year comes to a start here in September. So please have your eyes on that. Of course, next week will be part 2 of the Sunday series, in which we will be focusing on meditation. So we're going to have meditation offerings throughout the service. It's going to shake things up once more. We'll be joined by guests who will help us lead. We'll have some sound meditations. We'll have guided meditations. It'll be a great opportunity to come and jump into spiritual practice. As always at River Road, there are many chances and opportunities to jump in. And I have just one announcement from one of our sibling congregations, which is the congregation in Fairfax. They want us to know that on Saturday, August 20th at 10 a.m. to 12 on Zoom, you have an opportunity to join with Rock Spring United Church of Christ in Arlington for a virtual reproductive rights seminar and summit. So you can come and join and learn about the justice work that is going on with reproductive rights, both in this area and beyond. Of course, when we gather with so much on our hearts. We gather sometimes with light hearts ready to celebrate, and other times we gather with heavy hearts needing to be held by community. This morning, we want to lift up Gail Henry, Sam Francis, Mike, and Sky Henry, who are all mourning the loss of Sam's younger brother, Alan. Alan, unfortunately, died quite suddenly from a blood clot just very recently last week. A memorial service is being planned, likely to be held here at River Road. Our hearts are lifted up to them in this time. Please reach out. Please hold one another in these times. As always at River Road, a key part of our spiritual practice is how we give. We give so much to this community. We give of our hearts, we give of our time, we give of our talents, and we give of our treasure. As we listen and take in the rhythm this morning, we know that the rhythm happens in this congregation by all of the ways that we show up and all of the ways that we support through our giving. So as Katy and Reese play for us this morning during our time of offering, you're invited to either give in the box right back there. Of course, you can always give online on our website, or you can text to give at 73256. However, whenever, and wherever you give, Please know this is the giving that comes from our hearts that helps us build, sustain, and maintain this beloved community. Turning it over to you, Katy.
We'd like to offer a song from Nigeria. This is called Ishe Oluwa, and the words are Yoruba, which is a West African language, and this translates into God's creation will never be undone. So good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for welcoming me and Reese to your worship today. We are here to connect with the rhythm of our soul, using the drums and percussion instruments. And we are not only going to be drumming together, but we are going to be connecting to an ancient form of worship. The drums have been used by our ancestors in all cultures all over the world, and they're finding new ways into our hands here today. So I'm really happy that we're able to do this with you. We've done many services in many different places, and it's great to be back in person. I think drumming in person is a lot better. So, and we were at the retreat in April. And then I also drummed out here once. So I'm happy to be drumming with some of you again and with some of you for the first time. So first I'd like to introduce you to the instruments. So if you look here, you'll see lots of drums, and then there's some percussion instruments resting on top of the drums. So just take a look, and I'm going to just show you how to get sounds out of all of these. And as you watch and listen, just notice if there's anything that you hear that you're like, ooh, I want to play that. Because this is for you today to make some sounds with. So we've got some wood frogs, and there's a little pig over there. So if this is what you want to play, you're going to notice there's a frog and then a little wood tipper. So you can make the frog sing, and this is one of our wood sounds. We also have another type of wood block here. You're just going to hold the handle and hold the stick. And this one also you can and then in the same family, but plastic, this is a gyro, but you just want to hold this. There's a couple holes to put your fingers in and hold the stick, and then, right? And another wood block. This one, the stick's attached to it. You're just going to hold it in the palm of your hand. Hold the stick with your other hand. We've also got some bells here today. All the bells in the circle today have 2 tones to them. So you're just going to hold the bell and hold the stick. So these are called, they're bells traditionally played with samba music that you'd find in Brazil. And this is an African version of that. And this is called a gonkokwe bell. So again, two tones there. Okay. This is called a cabasa. So a cabasa you find mostly in like Afro-Cuban music, Latin jazz. And you just want to hold the handle. See how easy all this is? And then we have our basket O shakers. So we always need some shakers in the circle. So lots of different sounds in here. Even got a banana. You need a banana at church, right? So it's all in here. Some of them have handles. We just all right, so these are all of our percussion instruments, and then we have the drums. So there's lots of different drums here today. We've got mostly West African drums. The goblet-shaped drums, if you notice this shape, is called a djembe. This is from West Africa. The cone-shaped drum is called an ashiko, also from West Africa. This drum's sort of in between. It's called a boogaraboo. The tube-shaped drums are called tubanos. And I think that's pretty much what we got. So if you have a drum, I'll just demo with my drum. If a drum is this size and can reach the ground, you're just going to sit on the edge of your seat, hold the drum between your legs, tilt it away from you, and then use your hands to get the sounds. So you'll notice that with the percussion instruments, we've got sticks. And we're going to use the sticks on the percussion instruments, and on the drums we're going to use our, what are we going to use on the drums? One more time. Let's give some hands. All right. So some of the drums are easier to hold than others. So the drums with a rope, it's easy to get a good grip. If the drum doesn't have a rope, you might want to just wrap your ankles around it and just do your best. So, and then if you've got a drum that's smaller, like a smaller drum, if you can and it's comfortable to you, you can hold it up between your legs. And the reason we're doing that, tilting or holding it up, is because a drum that's tilted sounds like this, and a drum that rests on the ground sounds like this. So if you tilt it, you get a little bit more sound. Well, I think that's it. So, don't all run at once. But, how about, would you like to come and choose your instrument? And you can take a drum. If there's a percussion instrument on the drum you want, that's fine. We'll just move it. You want the drum? Okay. Yeah, be careful with it. Okay, would you like to come choose your instrument? And if you need help moving the instrument, I'm happy to help. Okay, why don't you guys come? Yeah, go ahead, make some sounds. That's why they're here. You can take both. Yeah, go ahead. All right, we good? Okay. So I'm going to put all the extra instruments over here to the side. As we're playing, go ahead, Cliff. As we're playing this morning, if you want to try other things, you're welcome to. Okay. All right. Well, let's hear all the percussion instruments. Can we hear you guys? The bells, the blocks, and the shakers. Make some sound. Okay, great. And before we start drumming, if you're wearing rings, it's best practice to remove your rings so you don't hurt your hands or hurt the drums. If you can't remove your ring, that's fine. That's fine. Just be mindful. We're drumming today for wellness, not for injury. So be mindful of your hands as it makes contact with the drums. Okay. So let's hear the drums now. Can we hear the drums? Beautiful. And stop. Okay. So, drummers, I'm just going to show you very quick. This is not drum class, but I just want you to feel comfortable with your instruments. So there's lots of different sounds we can make on these drums. So again, you want to be seated on the edge of your seat, the drums between your legs, if that feels comfortable to you, or you're holding it up, if that feels good to you. And I like to start with soft sounds. Everybody find your hands, find your fingernails, bring it to the drum, and just make some soft sounds on the drum. Right, everybody thinks that drumming is really loud, but no. This is a really soft, soothing sound. You can make this sound like waves, and you can make it sound like the wind. Now, if you take your fingertips on the edge of the drum and make little raindrop sounds, again, softer sounds on the drum. And notice what happens as you move your hand from the edge of the drum to the center. Right. Gets a little bit deeper. And back to the edge. Beautiful. Okay, now bring that to a rest. Find your hands again. Find your palm. And you're just going to let your palm fall down on the center of the drum and bounce off. And this is going to give us our bass note, a nice deep resonant note. Let's try this together. And percussion instruments, you can join us. Shake along or play your bell. So let your hand fall on the drum and bounce right off. 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 Beautiful. 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Awesome. So that's a bass note. Okay? So already we have this, and we've got a bass note. And then another note we use in the drum circle is if you find your hand, find your fingers, and from your knuckle up, imagine that your arm is a mallet, and you're hammering in a nail on top of that drum. And this is a higher pitch, and this is called the tone. So let's try this together. Beautiful. So percussion instruments, join us. Bink, 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 bink. Shake, 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 shake. Beautiful. Now, as fast as you can, follow my hands. We're going to do that one more time, and as we speed up, I invite you to take a deep breath in, and as we slow down, just let that breath out. Nice. Shake that out, shake that out. We're just getting going here. And just notice how your body feels right now. Just notice that. All right. So, when my foot touches the ground, everybody make one sound with your instrument. Ready? Wait till everybody's seated. So when my foot touches the ground, everybody makes one sound. the grandmother drum. We call this the grandmother drum because Grandma has a deep voice and holds together the circle. This bass drum is imperative for all of us to play together because it keeps us together. This is the rhythm right here. And when Grandma speaks, we listen because she has wisdom. She's got a big voice. She's had many years of experience. And sometimes Grandma talks and we can't hear her when we're all talking at the same time. But she's still there, holding us together. So we're going to come back in with the grandmother drum. And I'm going to invite us to play this rhythm together. And then I'm going to say, 1, 2, make up your own. And just start playing your own rhythm with this, staying connected to the grandma beat, okay? And just trust your hands. Trust your hands and trust the group and let yourself play, okay? And Reese is going to hold down the grandmother drum beat to hold us all together. So again, we're going to come in and play this together. Boom, 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 boom. And then we're going to say 1, 2, in and stretch up to the sky. Let go. We'll do this one more time, and we're going to take a deep breath in, reach up, and as we let it go, we're going to let out a big old, we're going to sigh together. Ready? Here we go. The rhythm of life. I think we just experienced that, right? So what's really powerful about drumming together, there's so many things. I could talk for hours, but we're not going to do that today. It's that we come into sync. When we come into sync together, it's not a thank you. When we come into sync with each other in the grandmother drum, we're coming into sync with ourselves, with our own biorhythms, and we're connecting to each other, and we're connecting to this bigger thing, which is the music. And when we're in sync, you feel it. It feels good. When we're not in sync, you feel that too. And it might not feel as good. It might feel a little bit chaotic. And it's important to notice that, because when we're in sync, that means our bodies are in the flow, and we're more relaxed, and we're supported by the music. When we're not in sync, it's a little bit harder, right? And this is all because of a law of nature called entrainment. Entrainment is when there are multiple rhythms in proximity to each other. They will come into sync with the dominant rhythm. So if you have opposing rhythms close to one another, they will come into sync with the dominant rhythm. It happens all the time. All the time. So what was the dominant rhythm today? The grandmother drum. Thank you, Reese. That helped us find our rhythm, right? And he held it so then you could make up your own rhythms. Everybody was playing their own thing at the same time, but we were in sync because of the grandmother drum. So that happens in drum circles. But it also happens in life. Because guess what? We all have a drum beating inside our chest. We all have the rhythm of breath, the rhythm of walking. We live in a rhythmic world where we have day and night. We are just living in rhythm. And in fact, the first thing we experience in our mother's womb is her heartbeat. So we are made of rhythm. We are made of rhythm. That's why the drum is so accessible to all of us. It's one of the reasons I love it so much. But I see this as another spiritual experience as well. And that's why we're here today. Because think about it. Not only do we have these biorhythms going on, but those rhythms are part of an even more essential rhythm. If we go look at ourselves through a microscope, what are we made up of? We're made up of atoms. And atoms, in their very essence, are vibrating. They vibrate. And that creates molecules. And that creates cells. And that creates tissues and bones and organs. And it's who we are. And all those vibrations of the atoms, vibration creates rhythm. So we are just pulsing. We're pulsing all the time. And I think that pulsing connects to a larger pulsing of creation, which is God's rhythm, the heartbeat of God, of spirit, whatever you want to name that. We're all made of that. We all come from that. We just are in different forms. But we are all in our essence vibrating, creating rhythms. So that's why it's very important to entrain to something that's going to lift you up, that's going to help you feel in sync. It's going to help you connect to what's going on within you with your own spiritual practice, but also connect with perhaps the Creator, whatever that is for you. So I think of it as, can we essentially entrain to God's heartbeat? What's that? What's that like? And I think that when we can just set an intention and allow ourselves to just be held by that primordial heartbeat pulsing rhythm that is in each of us, in our own heartbeat, then we're connecting to something bigger. And when we can connect to that and put it on the drum through the expression of our drumming, then that energy goes out and it's creating more rhythms that people can connect to. People on this live stream are going to feel this at home, right? I imagine, like, when we do drum circles outside, people walk by and they feel it and they're uplifted because we're all connected to something bigger. And now that biggerness just helps us raise us up. Drum circles can go pretty deep, I think, which is why I love doing them in places of worship. So it's really about entrainment. What are you entraining to? In a house of worship, you can imagine that you're letting yourself entrain to God's prayer, whatever that is. And with the drum, we can express that and bring it out to the world. But it's also just in everyday life. Are you entraining to really negative news? Are you entraining to really beautiful music? Are you entraining to the rhythms of nature? What is it that is in your life that you can be a little bit more mindful of? What rhythms are you entraining to? And you will notice how when you are more intentional about what you're connecting to, then you're going to just be kind of having that energy to people around you. So you notice when you're around somebody in a really good mood, you can feel that. And you notice when you're around somebody who's in a really bad mood too, you can feel that. That's entrainment. As you drive home today, notice the cars on the Beltway. Is there like a pocket of them speeding together? They are entrained. Are you stuck behind the slow driver? You're entrained. Sorry. And you probably don't like that either, right? That's entrainment. And next time you're listening to music and you tap your foot, that's entrainment. So, the drum circle is just another way to experience that, something that we experience all the time, every day. So I hope that gives you some kind of way to hold this that allows you to just take this into your spiritual practice. So thank you. So, where are we with time? Oh, wow. Okay, so we're going to do another, actually no. Okay. We are going to, okay. I talk too much, I'm sorry. We're going to do another piece. I'm going to teach you a song called Fanga. And as we drum together, I just want to invite you as you drum to imagine that you're, whatever kind of prayer you have today for your community, for yourself, for your family, for the world, imagine that it's coming from your heart into your hands and then onto the drum. And we'll let those prayers be lifted up with our drumming and let them be entrained to God's prayer for the world. So, we're going to do Fanga, so do you want to, okay, we'll just do it, okay. Okay, so first we're going to learn this song. Has anybody heard of the song Fanga? Have you done it with me before? Okay, yeah? So can you guys say Fanga Alafia? Ashe, Ashe. Fanga Alafia Ashe Ashe is West African language Yoruba, and the words mean welcome, good health, and peace. So I'm going to sing it, and you sing it back, so we can learn the song together. Fanga Alafia Ashe Ashe. Fanga Alafia Ashe Ashe. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Ashe, 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 Ashe. You got it. All right. So we're going to start with some clapping and singing. Then we're going to move to the drum and just follow me. And then when it's time to just jam out, imagine you're jamming and you're drumming your prayers. So here we go. Fanga lot of good drumming. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it go. Deep breath in, reach up. Let it go. And we'll close with a nice big sigh. Here we go. Thank you so much, and big thanks to Reese.
Thank you to Katy and Reese and Drumming for Wellness for coming with us this morning, leading us through this drumming, leading us through this rhythm that we can tap into all throughout the week, all throughout our lives, and in the months to come. What a blessing it is to be together this morning. What a blessing it is to make music together this morning. A big shout out to our tech people who took this in stride and figured out how to record and mic a drum circle and live stream it out to all of our friends and our siblings watching and participating from afar this morning. What a joy it is to be in community, to discover, to find, to hold, to release, to be together, to be in rhythm together. May we take that flame of rhythm in our hearts this week, and may we share it with those around us. And when we are stuck in traffic, when we are stuck in line at the store, when we are having to do yet another thing that we don't really want to do, may we tap into that entrainment. May we tap into that shared rhythm. May we carry this with us always. Ashe and blessed be.